tell you about the life of William Lipscomb, we'd have to go back a little further than that. We'd have to go back and talk about the conditions in the area at that time. As we all know, the war had been going on and it was ended in 1865, but the conditions around here were in shambles, especially the education system. The Union soldiers had been through here. In fact, they had established a fort at the corner of Murray Lane and Franklin Road. On the scene at this time came two very learned men, highly intelligent men, William Lipscomb and his brother David Lipscomb. And so William Lipscomb decided with his brother to establish a school, a private school, first known as Owen Station School. Later, William Lipscomb decided that it was time to sell the school when Williamson County formed a public school. So he sold the school to Williamson County. This building, the one that William Lipscomb was in, was just a log building. It was very open and it was very cold in there. Some of the students wrote later that this school was so cold and there were such big cracks in the wall that you could throw a cat through the cracks in the wall. I'm not sure that's true, but that's what they said anyway. Then that building was torn down in 1948. The Williamson County, being a public school, built a little white frame building with a pot-bellied stove, and it had 2 rooms to it, and there were 2 doors. The boys could go in one door and the girls could go in the other door. This school was particularly unique because they had a garden and the children did the gardening and they helped can the food. They even had a pig that they raised outside at this school. And there's another interesting story about the flagpole at that school. They bragged that they had the tallest flagpole anywhere. And the way they were able to get that was when WSM decided to take the antenna off of the top of their tower, they donated that to Lipscomb Elementary. And that's how they got the tallest flagpole in the area. On Lincoln's birthday, February the 12th, 1988, a very sad thing happened. The school caught on fire. At first, when the smoke started billowing up, they thought it was just that the boiler was overheating, but it was later learned and later discovered that the whole school was in flames. And the teachers quickly got the students out of the doors to stand outside, and the students and the teachers stood there together watching their school and all their school supplies burn to the ground. In 1959, they moved into a brand new school building. Mr. Jess Frank was appointed principal of Lipscomb Elementary, and with him came new and innovative ideas. Mr. Frank was beloved by all the students, and it was well known that he thought every child could learn, no matter their handicap, no matter what kind of learning disability they had. Every child could learn and would learn at his school. Now, there's a sign at Lipscomb that says, "This school loves all kids," and as far as I know, it's still there, and that is still true. There were lots of neat things that happened while Jess Frank was principal at Lipscomb. He had a farm, and he invited all the kids at one time or another to go out to his farm. They rode horses, they played in the hay. They did all kinds of fun things that kids love to do and never had any other opportunities to do it.
We also went to Mr. Frank's farm for some great fun field trips. The kids would swing on the grapevines through the trees across the creeks and climb up in the hayloft and jump down in the barn, and that was always fun.
Mr. Frank, Jesse Frank, was the principal. And every year he would take each grade to his farm. And in 2nd grade we went to the farm and we were doing all sorts of activities, kind of that farm life that you would do on the farm. So, you know, maybe back in the day like churning butter, or, you know, we'd go on a hayride and things like that.
He bought an old fire engine, a great big old antique fire engine. He and his son John towed that fire engine back from Lebanon with the fire engine facing the traffic coming up behind them. That fire engine was one of the most beloved things that it was ever at Lipscomb. The kids, we would be on the playground and the PTO had bought lots of expensive playground equipment. You would look out and there would be 10 kids on the playground equipment, and there would be 100 kids on all parts of that fire engine.
And many times the families and the children still come back who used to go to school here wanting to know, where is that fire truck? So we had a lot of fun on the fire truck.
And when you talk to kids today, what do you remember about school? These are the things they remember. They don't remember diagramming a sentence, they don't remember their math equations, but they remember the plays, they remember the parades, they remember going to Mr. Frank's farm. There was a lot of old charm to the old building. It had a mural, a Snow White mural that had been painted at one end of the library that the students loved. It was just a charming old building, but it had to go.
They started building the new building when we were in kindergarten, and one day we kind of packed up our things from the portables and then just walked into that new building, and it was like nothing had changed.
When Mr. Frank was here, he made a sign that you see when you enter the grounds, and it says, this school loves kids, and that philosophy lives on here at Lipscomb. And we know that each child is special, all ideas matter, and put your mind to it and you can do anything. And that's the same philosophy that has continued on here at Lipscomb for many years.
You always hear Jesse Frank's stories, but one of the things that teachers have always shared is that give us your kids. We love children. Lipscomb loves kids, and that spirit still pervades the building now. We love the children. We want them to be safe. We want them to be happy. We want them to be well educated.
Mr. Frank had to retire due to poor health in 1998. He was replaced by Mrs. Jean Pickard, and following Ms. Jean Pickard, Dr. John Calton was the principal, and now the present principal is Michelle Contage.
Lipscomb has stayed the same in many ways. We have the same warm, loving environment that we've always had. Parents are welcome here always, great community involvement.
There was a lot of educational philosophy that was formed in that old school, and I would have to agree today with Mr. Frank that it is and was one of the best schools around. What a testimony to William Lipscomb, who 150 years ago today, or 150 years ago, had the idea to form a private school in that same location.
And we started with chalk, and then we went to the dry erase boards, and now in this building, which is 25 years old, we are doing the smart board.
We've seen lots of technology changes. We've had smart boards put in rooms, Elmos put in rooms. We've seen lots of changes in staff. Since Lipscomb is such an experienced school, we've had many teachers retire. They come back and they sub for us. They're still always part of our family. But we have had lots of staff changes and very exciting new teachers that have carried the tradition and spirit of greatness on here at Lipscomb.
Many teachers spent 30+ years of their teaching career here at Lipscomb, so we have a lot of retirees in our area who still come back to visit us. We also have a very wonderful staff now, and we have several former students who are here as teachers to be part of our staff. The foundation of Lipscomb is, like I've said before, this school loves kids. All children matter, and we've got a wonderful parent community here, very involved in our school.
I love being the principal here because I have the most amazing teachers. I tell them that they wow me on a daily basis. We are looking for people with great heart that will love our children first and foremost. My favorite story goes back to how our children change and grow here at Lipscomb Elementary School. I have seen children come in the doors of Lipscomb Elementary School and just struggle. And we get the team in place and they are able to make such a difference in children's lives. It is amazing. It makes me feel so proud. It makes my heart happy. It makes the parents happy. It makes the rest of the school happy. It's a great place to be, to see children succeeding.
Lipscomb has impacted my life tremendously. I was able to live my passion of being a teacher here at Lipscomb, and hopefully I will make a difference and have made a difference in the lives of the children that I've taught.
I live in the neighborhood, I work in the neighborhood, and everywhere I go, it's always about Lipscomb Elementary School.
It's an exciting time celebrating 150 years here at Lipscomb. Lipscomb has been a very important part of our community and will continue to be a part of our community as generations continue to come to Lipscomb. We are so proud to be a part of Lipscomb.
From when I was a student to as well as being a teacher, it has been a family. Lipscomb, I grew up in Brent Haven, so Lipscomb has always been my neighborhood school. And even now as a teacher, it just has that neighborhood family feeling that when you come here, you know you're among people that love and care about you and that are going to have your back.
But these ever-changing games that we play so carelessly beckon me to wonder if you're still in love with me. 'Cause it's one for you and one for me, yeah. Bang, bang, bang.